Rambo First Blood Part 2 is one of the greatest action movies ever made. It introduced a whole bunch of genre tropes and cliches, but also changed the way we view the action genre in general. It had a huge impact on 80s cinema, and this impact can still be felt even in modern action movies. The Rambo type character is so deeply ingrained within the action genre that it's almost hard to imagine anything else.
Rambo. What most people call hell, he calls home.
Unlike the first movie, this one is much more violent and leans a lot more into the idea of Rambo being an almost invincible super soldier. The first movie was much more grounded in that regard, and it focused on a more personal and intimate story. It was more character driven and explored the PTSD effects Vietnam had on veterans, as well as their treatment by regular people back home. Rambo was not looking for violence, nor was he behaving like a troublemaker. It's only after the police and the sheriff pushed him to the edge after physically abusing him does he snap and go on a rampage. He's a tragic hero, and this tragedy makes a point about the mistreatment of veterans at the time.
Nothing is over! Nothing! You just don't turn it off! It wasn't my war! You asked me, I didn't ask you! Oh God. Where's everybody?
Veterans who often were forced by the government to fight in Vietnam had to go through extreme hardships only to come back and be treated like outcasts and a danger to society. First Blood Part 2 is where Rambo actually turns into the movie and character most people imagine it is. When in the first movie John tried to be as pacifistic as possible and avoid killing, then in this movie he unleashes the darkness that he was holding back and turns into an unstoppable killing machine. This change in tone might be surprising, but it actually makes a lot of sense and is fitting. Leaving aside the fact that First Blood Part 2 came out during the Reagan era and was heavily influenced by the politics of that decade, it also is in line with Rambo's character from the first movie. It's made clear that he can't adjust to normal society because he spent too much time out in the field and became an expert in killing and being a warrior. Sending him back to Vietnam on a mission to free American prisoners is something he would have wanted to do one way or the other. From the first moments, it's made clear that the tone here is different and the character has changed. He's going back to Vietnam to free some American prisoners from the Viet Cong and of course the Soviets. The difference, however, is that this time he has no restraints. He can finish his mission any way he likes, using extreme violence and force. What makes Rambo so great is how unapologetic it is about the violence. It follows the idea that the results justify the means. It doesn't matter how many Viet Cong or Russians John has to kill, as long as he brings back the prisoners. This unapologetic, over-the-top action became the blueprint for other action movies in the 80s. And is still in use even in modern action movies. But specifically within the 80s, this changed the action genre almost overnight. Its influence was a lot bigger than that of the first movie, despite both being considered classics. The second movie has turned into a more iconic movie because at that time, even though hardcore action movies already existed, none of them had this level of action and Reagan-level politics. Both are anti-war movies. Despite Rambo killing and destroying more, it's never shown as a good thing or is celebrated. At the time of its release, it was considered just as violent and dark as the first movie, even though story-wise it was a lot weaker. It is iconic because it created the mythos and trope of the lone wolf warrior who runs around without a shirt, hiding in the jungle while ambushing his enemies. While the story is not complex or deep, it does have a decent plot filled with betrayal, political commentary, and various other messages. Rambo First Blood Part 2 also played a major role in shaping the military action hero archetype, influencing a whole wave of films in which military figures were portrayed as highly trained, lethal badass individuals capable of taking on any mission.
And now, he's getting out any way he can.
Rambo's impact on cinema and action has been much greater than most people realize or want to admit. Nowadays, it's often parodied and being joked on or taken less seriously because of its over-the-top 80s tone. They brush off how important it is and how it's the sole reason many other popular franchises like Lethal Weapon, Commando or Die Hard exist in the first place. This trope of the protagonist going on a dangerous one-man mission against all odds, often involving heavy artillery, combat and larger-than-life action, is derived from Rambo. Just like the tendency of such movies to portray exotic locations, this isn't necessarily exclusive to this type of genre trope, as exotic locations were and are also popular in a lot of adventure movies such as Indiana Jones or The Mummy. But action movies like Rambo have a tendency to set the plot in locations or situations that feel foreign and different to the average viewer. Lush jungles and hostile environments weren't just setting. They were integral to the over-the-top action sequences that could only occur in such dramatic environments. Rambo also decided to prioritize spectacle over a deeper narrative. While the story is not bad by any means, nor does it lack plenty of deeper messages, it's nowhere near as complex as that of the first movie. Nor does it try to be. The first movie already said everything it had to say about Rambo as a character, as well as veteran PTSD issues. So rather than repeat the same story with the same topics and issues, this movie decided to prioritize the action and the visuals. This is its strongest aspect. It's supposed to be an action-filled adventure full of big explosions, knife fights, and Rambo mowing down hordes of enemies. It's honestly pure art because this movie embodies what action actually is in its purest form. There is no moral preaching, there is no tortured hero who wonders if all the killing is necessary or when it will stop. Rambo kills without second thoughts and his willpower is made of iron. He does what he has to do and he does so masterfully. Which is not to say that he is a brainless killing machine. The last part of the movie clearly shows that he's not and that he does have his own views and opinions on the matter. The movie is also interesting in that it features a lot of heavy themes of patriotism and nationalism. It raises the question of how far it is okay to go and how people like Rambo should be treated. While First Blood was critically acclaimed, Part 2 became a pop culture phenomenon, influencing not only movies but also television, video games, and other forms of entertainment.
No man, no law, no war can stop him.